Welcome to Life Hacks with the Tipman. I am the aforementioned Tipman, Tim Thompson. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching our videos. My goal each week is to bring you 5 really good tips that I find from doing a fair amount of research. I look at podcasts, websites, magazines, books, all kinds of stuff from around the world, try to find the best tips for you. The thing with my tips is I'm going for the tip trifecta, which is I want them to be legit, helpful, and most importantly, have a really high aah-factor. And by that I mean you kind of look at it and you're like, wow, that tip's amazing. So hopefully I have some really good tips for you this week. And remember, even if the tips don't help you directly, share them with other people. Just share the love. So here we go. So for my first tip, it's entitled BOGO for Good. BOGO, of course, stands for buy one, get one. I got this tip out of Reader's Digest, of all places, and it's a really simple but very powerful tip. So you may not be aware, but the U.S. Department of Agriculture recently came out with a study where they showed that 1 in 7 U.S. households suffer from food insecurity throughout the year. I mean, that's a lot of folks. That's a lot of Americans. So anyway, this tip kind of addresses that. The tip is basically, whenever you get your BOGO coupons, just collect them, you go to the grocery store, buy those items, even if you don't really need the second item. But at home, just keep a cardboard box, and all those BOGO items just put in that box, and whenever the box gets full, take it to the local charity food pantry and give it to them. It's just a very simple, easy way to give back to your community. I really love this tip. You might want to check with your food pantry to see what their restrictions are and what kind of foods they're looking for, but I really love this tip. Oh, and by the way, in fact, I'm going to change BOGO from buy one, get one to buy one, give one. For this tip, I call it Wander Without Worry Hack. That's Wander Without Worry. If you're traveling overseas anytime soon, it is absolutely critical that you get trip medical insurance. Now, you're probably familiar with trip insurance, which covers cancellations and interruptions to your trip, but trip medical insurance is really critical. And the reason why is because your normal insurance and Medicare usually don't cover expenses in other countries. Coincidentally, I actually know 2 different people in my life who were traveling overseas, had a bad accident, and had to spend a lot of time in the hospital before they could come back to the US. In both cases, the bill for them and their hospital stays, plus air evacuating them back to the United States, was over $200,000.
Oh my God!
One guy had an accident in Japan. Because he had trip medical insurance, his out-of-pocket was hardly anything at all. The other one was a young woman from my church who was visiting some friends in Italy, was actually hit by a car. She didn't have trip medical insurance. It was so devastating for the family. They actually had to do a GoFundMe to try to get their daughter back over to the US. So, trip medical insurance, you really need to get it. I would highly recommend that if you can go through your travel agent, that's a really good way to do it because they know who the main players are, they know what the exclusions are and what to watch out for. But if you don't have a travel agent, I do have a link below to Fay, which is one of the travel insurance companies. It's one of the good guys. You can use them, get a quote for them. I encourage you to get quotes from other companies as well, but really look at the exclusions to make sure none of them could impact you, but get the trip medical insurance. This tip is called Zip It or Else. And I'm kind of amazed I didn't know this tip. I mean, I've been on the planet a long time, and I don't know how I missed this, but I got it out of Real Simple magazine. It's a great magazine, has a lot of life hacks in it. Tends to be more on the female side than the male side, but it's a good magazine.
What?
But this tip is basically saying, if you have a jacket that you're gonna wash in your laundry, make sure you zip it up and also attach all the Velcro. And I never really thought about this, but what they showed in the article is that you do a tremendous amount of damage to the other clothes in the wash machine, including the drum of the wash machine itself. So just make sure you zip it up. Also, there's a really old tip where if your jacket costs more than a dinner out, you need to use a laundry bag. I know a lot of people don't use laundry bags now. In fact, a lot of people probably don't know what they are. But basically you put it in there, put it in the laundry. It protects the jacket from everything else, and also you protect everything else from the jacket using that laundry bag. My producer Paul sent me a note that said, "Yet another reason to not get caught with your zipper down." Okay, well, let's... Thank you, Paul. And by the way, Paul also said, tell them to like and subscribe. So yes, please like and subscribe if you do like our show. This is the classic tip of the week. And by classic, it means it's a really old tip, kind of like me, but it works, kind of like me. This tip is called the plumber's secret. And if you own a home, well, if you have a toilet, okay, you need one of these. And this is called a closet auger. It's also called a toilet auger. So if you clog up your toilet, your first go-to is a plunger. And if the plunger doesn't work, a lot of people stop there and we'll just call the plumber. Well, this is what the plumbers use. It's like under 50 bucks. You can find them at most hardware stores. Actually has the instructions on how to use it. It kind of works like a plumber snake, but it's a smaller version of it. Some years ago, I was doing a radio show, and we had on a guest one day who was a master plumber. It's actually kind of an interesting guy. And during one of the breaks, he told me that probably 80% of the calls that he got for clogged toilet, this is what he used to fix it. So again, less than 50 bucks, super easy. We actually have the link for this below. You're welcome to use that if you can find it cheaper, great. But highly recommend a closet auger. Hey, one other tip, speaking of toilets and bathrooms, you need to have a plunger in every single bathroom in your house, and here's why. If you ever have guests over for a party or whatever and the toilet gets clogged, okay, it's kind of an embarrassing thing for them to come out and go, "Hey, have you got a plunger?" So I'm just saying, I'm not saying this happened to me or anything, but I'm just saying it's important. Make sure you get plungers in every single bathroom. Okay, this is our gadget of the week, and it's entitled, "Your Toilet Deserves Better." So you're probably familiar that every toilet is held down by two bolts, and the bolt is covered up by something called a toilet bolt cover, which I know you've seen these and whatever. So what you probably are not aware of is that you can actually buy decorative versions of this. And I'm talking about this, like little lighthouses. You can buy frogs, fish, flowers, butterflies, you name it. They come in all kinds of styles. Now, I hesitated to share this tip because I knew I was going to catch some grief for it, but here's the kicker. My philosophy with tips and gadgets is if they make your life incrementally better, they're good. And this makes your life incrementally better because you know what? They'll bring a smile to your face. Hey, and by the way, in case you don't know it, you can actually even buy decorative flush handles. Yes, this is a mermaid. My wife won't let me use this, but same thing. They come fish, flowers, frog, colleges, American flags, whatever you're into, I assure you there is a flush handle out there. In fact, I think we have some links below to some of them. They're kind of fascinating. You can find them Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, eBay, and so forth. They're just kind of cool. One tip on this, if you do decide to try this out, just make sure you know whether you have a side mount or a front mount for your flush, because it's two different types of handles. But I like this tip. So I hope you enjoyed the show. My producer Paul sent me a note, said you had 2 toilet tips this week. The show's going down the toilet. Yes, so that's probably true. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found the tips helpful. Please like, subscribe, and also give us comments. I'd really like to know what you think, and if you have any tips you want me to test out, I'll be glad to do it. Have a great week.